Okay, I've been struggling with my game on and off for 6 months to a year now, and today we're going to delve into the brutal, honest truth about what's happening with my game. We're going to look at some drills to potentially help, and hopefully this could help you throughout that off-season get good at golf. So today, we're going to look at, Chris, you played more golf with me than ever, guys. Chris is behind the camera today because Bobby is still on holiday. Can you believe he's still on holiday?
No.
He's in Barbados.
I actually am in Barbados.
All right for some. But Chris, you play more golf with me than anyone. We'll start with the irons. We might move through the bag through this lesson if that's okay. So guys, you're kind of getting a fish eye view, bird's eye view. A fly on the wall is what I was looking for there.
Fish eye view.
Yeah, that's a camera lens, isn't it? But a fly on the wall look at a lesson that Chris is going to give me. Because Chris, you give me some of the, I've had lessons with the best coaches in the world, and you've given me some of the best tips ever, and I generally play better golf afterwards. So guys, hopefully that's going to happen today. But what do you want me to do first? Do you want me just to hit a couple?
Yeah, just hit a couple of shots here. What have you got, 170 yards?
170, I've got a 7 iron. And essentially, I'm just trying to hit nice controlled shots. I'm not trying to smash it. I'm not trying to shape it necessarily or anything. That's typical of what I get with the irons, a bit of a pull to the left-hand side. Obviously, we all know that I've got new golf clubs in the bag, I've got new shafts, and these generally have been helping. We actually changed the lie angles as well because I was cutting across the ball quite heavily, but now I'm not cutting across it, I'm just kind of straight pulling it because the lie angle's changed. Yep. So essentially, like, you look at the club path here, Chris, it's 2.2 out to in. That's actually quite good for me because we have seen in fitting videos, it gets quite heavily left, doesn't it? And I'm going to be open and honest here, I'm not the specimen I used to be, fitness-wise, and I feel like the golf swing has kind of deteriorated with that. Life's got in the way, dad being a dad and stuff like that and everything else. So it's kind of working out, how can I play my best golf without necessarily practicing 5, 6, 7 hours a week like we all used to do when we were younger and kind of had that glint in our eye. So let's go again. And I'm not going to try anything here, I'm just going to hit shots as though I'm on the course. That felt like a nice one. Again, a little bit left. Good spin at 6,000 with a 7 iron. It's the number again. It's kind of 160 up to 170, but it's that little bit left again. It's very consistent. If we look at the top of the screen there.
One more.
One more. And essentially, if you're doing this on the golf course, I would just aim right for the day. But that feels like you don't really want to be doing that, do you?
No, it's that time of the year when you're wanting to look at your game.
That was a nice one. Quite enjoyed that. Nice and high. It's a towering ball flight, isn't it? And again, like distance-wise, all three of them are kind of 161 to 164 carry, so very, very consistent. What do you think, coach, so far?
Right, we've got a drill for you.
Oh, we've got I do love a good drill. So talk me through exactly what we're doing here.
So again, we'll see a drill here from Hack Motion where you are going to basically go to the top of your swing, which it'll show you shortly, and you're going to get the feel correctly at the top where your wrist needs to be. And from there, one thing we want from you is to then control those wrists on the way down. So from there, down into this position, which is a big position, an important position. Where's the club face when the club is parallel? And then we're going to hit some shots. So obviously the importance of this drill, if I grab a club.
The funny thing here is I do, because we've been working with Hack Motion all year, and it's been helping me with my game quite a lot in parts. And for me, I want to feel like, I like that I know where the club is at the top, and I feel like I'm cupping it. I used to actually bow it, but that really helped me with ball striking. And then I just don't really know the method of the downswing and how to do that.
Yeah, so that's it. So this drill's going to help us from the top of the backswing, get the correct feel here for the wrists. And then on the way down into this position here, it's really important because how many people have the club either wide open like this, so that's going to be obviously incredibly open when it comes down to the golf ball, or they might have it in that position there, which we know is going to smother the ball left. But we also see from the top with a lot of people, obviously we see people, right, okay, I've got to give this everything, and where does the club go? So if they stopped at parallel, their club could be very much over here, which James is, because James gets into club face is a good position, but the problem from there is James's path as that works down is working a little bit left. So it's square because there's not much movement on those shots, and if you see there, you might go, okay, I'm hitting the ball left, I'm pulling the ball. So we know that your club face is square to your path, so we need to make sure then, okay, the quick fix, like a lot of people would do when you're out playing golf, and there's nothing wrong with this. If you're on the golf course and you're playing around and you're scoring, then you can just start to maybe aim a little bit further right to counter for that. But the only problem is then, obviously, if you hit a big block and you leave it open, you're going to have that shot then that misses right. So you're opening two sides of the golf course. So we need to think about, right, the ball flight's straight. There's not much movement on the ball flight at all. So we just want to get James working better from the top and coming into this position. And this drill's going to help him get here. And then from there, he can just release. And that should straighten up those shots.
And one of the big things for me, with driver especially, I feel like I'm leaving a lot of distance out there. A lot of my comments do say, James, you look at your swing path in fittings, you look at your swing path when you're testing clubs, you're leaving 5 to 10, even maybe more yards out there in carry. So essentially, if I can just kind of, I always think when you're working on something, you work on it with your irons to start, you're working it with the club you come with. I've got the 7-iron here, as we've said. Once you feel like you almost can't get that wrong, you start moving up the bag. I don't think essentially you would just go straight into a driver with this drill because it would be too much. Right, what do you want me to do?
Turn on the sensor. Is always a good start.
It was on because I felt it vibrate. Oh, I felt it vibrate again.
Okay.
And this is good for like singular practice. Well, if you're at the driving range and you just want to work out on your own, you can essentially have your phone just propped up and then do that, can't you?
Yeah, so it's just loading now. We're just going to calibrate. So, yeah, and then up to 45 degrees. Good. And we are good to go. So go to address. So you can see here, this is going to be on screen, guys, but obviously go to your address position, stay there nice and solid, good. And then to the top of your swing. And slowly begin your downswing. So from there we have to stay in that range. Good. And then finish your swing. So just hit it from there, it's just a little chip shot. Good, and this is going to work obviously on the start line, and you'll see on the screen, obviously James goes through that. And here we're going to do probably 5 reps, then we're going to hit a shot, see how it's worked and how the feel has happened. So you don't just want to stand there all day just doing the drill and not hitting shots. So address, good, top of the backswing. And slowly come down, you're staying in that range. Good, and then through to finish.
I certainly feel out there, feedback-wise, doing the old motorcycle drill where we did a couple of months ago, if I hadn't have done that, I'd have been there.
Yeah.
And it would have had that horrible noise.
Big noise. So let's do 3. Let's do 1 more now, and then we'll hit a full shot. Good to the top. Good, and finish your swing.
That was straight, wasn't it?
Yeah, and that's it. So start line good, into a strong
Face
position.
the path square. I know this is only a chip shot, but it's giving us a bit more of an idea, isn't it?
It is.
And to be honest, when I was having a lot of lessons, when I was younger and slimmer and better at golf and probably had more money and everything else, but essentially what I'd used to do a lot was a very similar thing where I'd get here, and I think, right, where is that shaft? Is it over plane? Is it under plane? Is it on plane? Is the club face closed? Is the club face open? And visually doing that, I'd have a mirror behind me and kind of working it that way, whereas now you almost have the audio feedback, don't you, instead?
Yeah, so
There's a little kind of half swing. I quite enjoyed that. The ball was more on line. Club path 0.8 again, so much better.
yeah, and face ever so slightly open, so it's changed that straight away. We've got the start line on line.
How many and this is for people at home, because I like building up swings. I like hitting half shots, 3/4 shots. How often do you think you should do that rather than standing here trying to hit this 7-iron 170 yards like we started the session?
So this is it. So you should be doing a lot more repetitions of drills, maybe 5 drills, and then hit a couple of shots, and then depending on how obviously the results are. So for James there, starting to get the ball, if anything, a little bit to the right-hand side, and then he's done a couple of half swings. We'll go 1 full swing, and then we'll go back into practice mode.
That felt nice.
And again, a full swing there.
Go on then. Online, wasn't it better? Carries the same, And sometimes it takes a little bit of an MOT this time of year, doesn't it? Just to service yourself, just change the oil a little bit. I've got a car thing in my head, I don't know why. But you look at that again, we're down to 0.9, which with an iron's good because you are going to hit down and it's working around on an arc, so it wants to be a tiny bit to the left, doesn't it?
Yeah, it can be.
That's the straightest shot we've hit so far.
Right.
Now, this is where you could become unstuck because I've just hit a really good shot there, so guess what I want to do now?
Hit another one, but we're going to go back to the drills now. Again, 3 good motions. So set up at address. Okay, now to the top. Good, and slowly down. And then finish your swing.
It's almost like Justin Rose's thing, isn't it?
Yeah, so there's some structure to the practice.
I'm not sure you want to practice seeing the ball go in the water.
Maybe not. So set up, good, top of the swing. Good, and finish.
Oh, that was good. See, because it's coming from a better position, so a lot of people are thinking, well, how do you hit a ball from here? It's hard to do it from here, it's hard to do it from there, but from here, you can just kind of move through, can't you?
Yep.
Club path was bang 0 that time.
Let's go now, full shot.
The joy of practice, Christopher. The joy of practice. Let's go again.
Right, back into a drill then, so...
Oh, don't even go again?
No, no, that's it. Bad shot, back into... Get the position, so set up still, good. To the top. Good. And finish. Okay, now we'll let you have another shot.
Thank you, thank you. I feel like this could be something that I'll spend some time doing, because you get an outcome, don't you?
You do. Feedback. Feel and reel.
Look at that is beautiful.
And on the green.
And I think he said, like, all I do here now is really try and get, you know, just kind of working on the movements at speed but shorter.
Yeah.
So I can essentially kind of work on that, using all balls up. So guys, some nice work done there with the mid-irons. Let's talk driver briefly, because this is, again, if you end the session, I do think you want to end the session with a driver just so you can sort of see, not even necessarily progress, but just work on those feelings a little bit more. Do you want me to do the drill, Chris?
Yep, so set up. And to the top. Good. You could hear there straight away at the top, you didn't get into the position.
No, and I wonder if that's why I'm struggling with driver, because if I didn't hear the feedback, I probably wouldn't have quickly done cut my wrist like I know I needed to.
Right, one more. Okay.
It's harder with driver. Definitely harder. But it's going to be, isn't it?
It is a longer club.
Right. Stand up and be counted. First tee at Lindrick this afternoon. I mean, it's not a big, horrible cut, is it?
No. I'll leave you in here for another hour.
Yeah, thank you very much. I'm going to just... You'll find me here. There. I've got it. I've got the feeling. There we go. There we go. That's one of the best I've hit in a while. Oof. Go on. Who don't want a 303-yard drive? And by path, it's still left, but it's not double digits like it was.
Progress.
Is real.